some of the women in your circle are broken too. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about overthinking. Okay, let's rewind it and let's dial it back really quickly, and let's not act like we don't overthink situations that really don't mean much, right? I am an overthinker. I hate that. But I steadily work at that daily because at the end of the day, honey, no one cares. No one cares besides me and my mind. And I'm slowly but surely moving away from that, because at the end of the day, honey, once again, nobody cares. Nobody besides you. And so no one's gonna love you more than you love yourself. No one's gonna take care of you more than you take care of yourself. So why not start with the psyche? On this channel, right, we like to focus on internal self-improvement that leads to the external self-improvement, i.e. fashion, makeup, whatever else, and internal, i.e. mental psyche, external also productivity. Like we doing all that, okay? Because I want to, and this I'm kind of using for myself as well, right? Because I'm bettering myself and I'm improving myself daily. And so I'm always finding like little things to adjust. And so I want to do that. I want to adjust it, right? So if you like what I have going on, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's go ahead and get started with the video. So first of all, let's really discuss how overthinking can be a mental situation, right? It can be a mental disorder, right? We're talking about depression, anxiety, and anything else. And so you kind of want to get to the root of those things prior to, because when you're fixing a symptom to a bigger issue, it's not going to get fixed. And I'm not saying anxiety, depression is something that gets fixed. It's something that possibly with the right, therapist or whatever, medication, whatever, it's something that can be managed. Not especially, but anxiety can also be managed. It's just all about the tools and technique that you get, from your provider. So if overthinking is just, it's an underlying issue, I highly suggest getting yourself checked out, right? Because like I said, we're working on ourselves and our self-improvement, and working on our mental wellness is top tier A1. If we are not functioning properly on the inside, if we have a lot of stuff going on mentally and we're just bottling it up and holding it and not really discussing it like we should be and getting treatment for it and resolving and moving on, then there lies the bigger issue. I'm a huge proponent and huge advocate for therapy. Okay, because a broke person cannot fix another broke person. I promise you, some of the women in your circle are broken too, right? But let's be realistic. We've all have gone through our own trauma, and so you dumping your trauma on someone who's already dealing with their own trauma is not good for anyone. And it's not gonna help any type of situation. And also, let's acknowledge that there is a problem, right? No one can ever work on fixing a problem without firstly acknowledging that there is a problem, right? So you saying, oh no, I don't overthink, or I just think about it, just like, no. Like if like you're going home and you're still thinking about the situation, you're going out, you're waking up, going to sleep, like, and it's been there for way too long, then you may have a problem, right? So let's acknowledge that we may have some problems and let's start fixing them and start working on them, right? Because that's what life's about. We are continuously evolving, and we have to keep choosing ourselves, and we have to keep making ourselves a priority, especially our mental wellness a priority, because we can't be good for others if we're not good to ourselves, right? And when you have these thoughts, also talk about or think about, why is it festering? What do these thoughts make you feel? What kind of thoughts are they? Are they negative? Are they positive? Is it a specific person? Like, what is it about that thought, that continuous thought, that makes you feel a type of way, right? That's important to also acknowledge, because negative self-talk and self-thought is something along those lines, but it can get worse. So always trying to figure out which is which. So one of the steps that we can start taking on challenging our overthinking thoughts is understanding what these thoughts are. And once again, if it's a negative thought, can we change it? Can we change it to a positive thought? How much of an impact is it having on us mentally, right? How much does this thought, if negative, impact my mood? Right? So acknowledging the different variations of the thought and acknowledging what that thought is very essential to really working towards some sort of progress. So step number 2. So we can possibly think about finding a distraction from the thought, right? Or meditation. Now, I say meditation lightly because sometimes, meditation is literally you in deep thought. However, guided meditation can help guide you as opposed to you coming up with your own thoughts, right? Next thing you know, you're still stuck in that same thought and you're in meditation mode. So now it's like on overdrive and you're thinking of ways like things I should have said, what did I do? Like all these different routes to the conversation or to the thought that you had, and you're still getting nowhere, right? So finding some sort of distraction to help you kind of keep your mind off these thoughts, if you can, if possible, allowing yourself to be more busy. But then sometimes it's like, yeah, you can be busy, but then you're not busy, right? Because you can't overwork yourself just to stop your mind from moving. So step number 3 would be essentially, and these are not in any particular order, I'm just saying option number 3, step number 3, is thinking about how these thoughts impact your future. Will it really matter tomorrow? Right? Because if it's not, then you're just wasting your time living in the past that isn't really going to help you move forward towards the future. Right? And do you think that it's something that others are thinking of you? Right? Because honestly, oftentimes what we think that people think of us, they don't really think of us because they don't care. So I'm someone who's very like, how do I put this? I'm non-confrontational. I'm not non-confrontational. I don't care for confrontation. It puts me on edge. It puts me in this uneasy spot. However, I feel like it is what I need to do to sleep better at night. So if I need to say something to you, if I feel like, hey, whatever, like I will say it to you because I need to get it out. And I will try my best to not come off as, rude or anything crazy like that. And therefore, and that's honestly the same thing that I require of my friends. Like if you have an issue with me or something happened, I said something that you didn't like or whatever the situation is, don't hold on to it. And you know what? People are weird too, where they like just stop talking to someone just because they have an issue and they don't want to address it. It's just like, if you're friends, just be friends. Just have an adult conversation. It's not difficult to have an adult conversation. I mean, a lot of people really are not good at communication, but you're gonna have to be, right? Because we're all adults. So just trying to figure out and try to understand, like, are these thoughts of what you think of yourself or what others think of you? Very important. Another thing is to acknowledge your successes, right? Sometimes our thoughts can overshadow where we are in life and how far we've come. It's important to, hopefully that will help you wield yourself back in, to kind of like pull you out of the thought, especially if it's a negative thought or if something that we think of others, or if we feel like this is not where I should be in life, and you're just going and going and going and going. Acknowledge where you are, because trust me, where you are today is not where you were yesterday. Unless it is, then girl, get moving. But you've had to put some work in to get to where you are today. So just acknowledge that work that you put in, because once again, not too many people can put in the effort that you put in, because no one else is you and no one else can ever be you, right? And so you only have one of yourself. So make the most of that one of yourself. Another way to help you help you maneuver through this whole overthinking situation is to be present. Being present is an integral part to kind of get you out of your mind, right? Let's say you're at a party and you're just thinking about work, a situation that happened at work or something, right? And you're there just having So yeah, like I was saying, so my phone died. So it's like, if you're out at a party and you're having a good time, everybody around you is like, hey, come dance, come do whatever. Da, da, da. Try to be present. Try to understand where you are, right? Like, what do you see? What do you smell? What can you touch? Like, what do you hear? Kind of like these check-ins with yourself to make sure that you're staying present and not in your mind. Because when you're in your mind, you lose track of everything that's going on around you in the world. And there is always a lot of things going on, good or bad. So just try to keep yourself present, right? Could be to, another tip is to unplug, right? With nowadays and social media and having your phone accessible 24/7, being on your phone 24/7, it can be easy to just consume a bunch of things, right? Especially if our overthinking thoughts or our thoughts are coming from social media, right? Whether it's how we compare ourselves to others, what we see, how we see ourselves online, posting something and not getting as many likes, and then now you're just like looking at yourself, oh, should I fix this? Should I adjust this? Should I do this, that, and the third? Unplug, and whatever it is that you're doing, go outside, okay? Touch some grass and take in some fresh air, especially after a few years of dealing with being quarantined. Just step outside, appreciate the world, enjoy the world. Once again, there's so many things to see around you, so do that. Get out there. So final tactic, right, is something that I like to use. I don't remember where I got it, so I don't want to take credit for it. It's kind of like a countdown method. When you are, I seen it in one of my planners a long time ago. It's like when you want to get out of a space, a mental head space or something like that, like you do a countdown, right? So during the countdown, you're just thinking and thinking and thinking. And it's like exhausting. And then either moving on physically, getting up and moving on, or just mentally moving on from the situation. So I do kind of like a countdown, like a 5, 4, 3, 2. And then by the time one comes around, that's it. Like I have no more mental space, no more mental capacity to continue to keep thinking about the exact same thought that I've been thinking about that I'm now trying to get away from. Right? So it's always about, you can't do anything without acknowledging that there's a problem, right? Like I mentioned earlier. But once you acknowledge that you're in that mental headspace, it's like, cool, okay, well, I need to move on from it. Because sometimes it's like you're in that mental headspace, but you don't even really realize that you're there. So whenever you come to and realize that you're there, and it's like, I don't want to keep doing this, I don't want to keep thinking about it, try the countdown method. It doesn't work every time, and it doesn't work on the first 2-5 times, but it's just something that it's a habit that you have to build, and you have to kind of keep working towards and striving towards. Let's see what else. This is a journey, right? The thought to overcoming our overthinkingness, it's a journey. Have some grace for yourself. You're not going to be perfect. You will fall back. Only thing that always matters whenever you fall is how you get up and how you can continue to move forward with whatever situation you have going on. Yeah, that was it. I hope y'all learned something. I definitely learned a lot of things by doing research about this. And like I said, that's kind of my goal for this. Like I want to help others grow as I'm growing, because we will never stop growing. And so I would like for us to just grow together. So yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and comment. What would you like to see next? I can think of all these things that's like I want to talk about, but it's like, what do you guys want me to talk about, I guess? Like this video if you cared and actually enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to, right? We all have options. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.